Hi everyone, Amy here. Let's talk about setting boundaries and how setting boundaries for yourself and for others can really help you grow exponentially, personally and professionally. I really struggled for a long time. If you watch my videos, you've likely heard me talk before about overcoming anxiety and depression. And part of the reason or maybe all of the reason I was depressed for so many years is because I was relying on others' opinions of me to help me feel good about myself. So when somebody didn't treat me very nicely, somebody that was close to me and was supposed to be important in my life, then I would feel really, really bad about myself. And the person that was letting that happen was me, right? So it can feel like a pretty tough pill to swallow sometimes, to take responsibility for ourselves, for our own emotions, for our own happiness, and set a boundary and say, you know what, it's my responsibility to take care of myself. And if I'm choosing, no matter who they are, to surround myself with people that don't make me feel very good, that I don't feel very good around, then that are not treating me with kindness and respect, well, I'm ending up being the one that's mistreating myself. And that is why we can feel so lonely in bad company. Not because the bad company is mistreating us, because we are mistreating ourselves. That's something I figured out after doing some digging. Maybe it's obvious to you guys as you're listening, but it wasn't apparent to me for some time. And so that I was the one letting it happen, and then digging a little bit deeper, understanding that that's why it felt so bad, because I wasn't accepting myself. So something that we all want, I don't care who you are, what country you're from, how old you are, something that we want universally is to feel accepted. And how do we feel accepted? By being able to be ourselves, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, whatever. All emotions we're going to feel every emotion from one time to the next, and emotions are fleeting. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but they're all okay. And so you never want to judge yourself, or you never want to judge an emotion. You never want to ignore a negative emotion. I even reminded myself of this today. I was thinking something, and for a moment I said, you know what, Amy, just ignore that. And I said, no. I caught myself, feel it, accept it, but choose your focus. Choose to focus on something positive. So anyhow, backing up or moving forward again, I realized that the reason I was feeling so lonely is because I was not accepting my own emotions, by acknowledging, this feels bad. I don't like how this person is treating me, so that's how much power you have. You have the power to choose what you focus on. You have the power to choose who you surround yourself with. And that is a very key and very important success habit, because if you are working toward a goal, and hopefully we all are, there are things that we want that are meant for us to be doing. Doesn't mean you can't be happy along your path as you work toward them, but we each have a purpose, and something that we feel really good doing, something that we're really good at. And that's your responsibility, to share that purpose with others and make an impact that way. We attract more of how we feel, right? And so if you're surrounding yourself with somebody who is mean to you, or you feel like you have to be different around, really get curious about, pay attention to first acknowledge that that's happening, and then get curious about why you're choosing that. And then remind yourself that you have choices. Because it's important to feel good as you work towards your goals. Now, I did just say it's important to acknowledge your emotions, and it is, even the negative ones, and get curious about why they're showing up, because they're showing up so that you can create change. And if any kind of negative emotion is showing up enough for you to stop and take notice, you are ready to grow beyond it. So that's a good thing. So get excited, stay curious and get excited, even when you're feeling really uncomfortable. It just means you're ready to grow, because the challenge has gotten big enough for you to be like, wait a minute, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm ready to make a change. So it's time to empower yourself. So that's good. Discomfort can be good. But yeah, as you're working towards your bigger goals, those things that are important to you, it's really imperative that you feel good. When you feel good, you're more energized, you're more motivated, and I think even more importantly, you are focused, because when something is bothering us, we are working with a distracted focus, and it slows us down. So you might be sitting at your computer working on writing this thing, or working on your emails or working on, searching if you're recruiting, like I sometimes am working on that. If I'm distracted, it's going to slow me down. So the more you surround yourself with people that understand you, that get you, where you can be yourself around, you feel accepted, you feel cared about. Doesn't mean you always agree. That's not it at all. It's totally fine to disagree, even healthy to have, some debate or some arguments or whatever. Sometimes that's okay in our close relationships, but you still love and or accept and care about and value that person. So you want to have those kinds of relationships, and anything that is not feeling like that, you don't really need that, because it's not going to be lifting you up. It's only going to slow you down. And the times when this can get really challenging is when there are people that are supposed to be really, really close to us. And I know this firsthand since I was a kid, dealing with, family members that really didn't treat me very nicely and did not accept me. And so I was constantly taught, I was locking in this mindset, this opinion about myself from a little kid, very young age, that something was wrong with the way that I was. I was being taught, I'm sure it was not intentional, but that's just what happened. And what happens, that to not accept myself, that I needed to be different I needed to be something other than myself to be accepted. So I struggled with that for a long time, because and that's part of the reason I was depressed for so many years, because I was trying to not be myself so that others would accept me. And the person that I really needed acceptance from was myself. And the sooner you do that by acknowledging the people that are maybe in your life that you don't feel that great around, and setting a boundary by saying, you know what, it's not okay to treat me this way or whatever, and setting that boundary, you are going to empower yourself. And yes, people might fall away, but the important lesson here and shift that you'll be making is that you are accepting yourself. And in order for the people that are going to value you for who you really are, you have to show up in your life. You have to be yourself. You have to first accept yourself. And even if somebody's trying to show up and give you love and attention and kindness, if you're not accepting yourself, you won't be able to accept that. Now, that's probably something a little bit deeper conversation and another subject, so I don't think I'll shift into that. But yeah, I guess this video is about self-acceptance. It's about setting boundaries. And in order to do that, you have to be brave enough to acknowledge your emotions and to accept yourself and your emotions, and to say, this is not okay. I'm setting a boundary here, meaning that if somebody tries to cross it, you're not going to let them, and they might end up going away. And that's okay. Then you're just creating room, you're getting that negative energy out of your life, and you're clearing your mind so that you won't be working with a distracted focus, and so that you feel happier and more elevated. And it might take some time, it will be uncomfortable, but remember, discomfort is where the growth happens. So you can do it. I believe in you. And thanks for watching. If you like the video, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.